In this episode of Cyprus Diaspora Uncovered, tourism leaders, hospitality experts and policymakers explore how Cyprus can strengthen its position as a smart, sustainable and globally competitive destination. The discussion examines the future of tourism through innovation, technology, luxury and wellness experiences and cultural tourism, while considering how Cyprus can embrace digital transformation without compromising its authentic identity. Panellists also explore strategies for diversifying the island's tourism offering, attracting higher value visitors and creating sustainable growth that benefits local communities and the wider economy. The panel discussion also features a keynote address by the Deputy Minister of Tourism of the Republic of Cyprus. This panel discussion was recorded live at the Cyprus Diaspora Forum on May 8th, 2026 at the AMARA Hotel in Limassol, Cyprus.
So thank you to everyone who chose to watch this panel at the Cyprus Diaspora Forum for the discussion of hospitality and tourism in Cyprus. My name is Pavlos Christou. I'm the editor-in-chief of Fast Forward at Digital Tree Media, and I will be the moderator of this discussion. Cyprus has a unique opportunity to not only strengthen its position as a leading destination, but to redefine what modern hospitality can look like through sustainability, innovation, culture, and authentic experience. With this opening, I'm gonna introduce our panelists first. We have Themis Violaris, CEO of Grizzly Entertainment, who comes here all the way from Los Angeles, from Hollywood. We have Peter Anders Vaz, co-founder of the Cyprus Comic Con, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, festivals organized in Cyprus. Effie Athanasiou, founder and CEO of Cyprus Says. She comes all the way from Australia for this event. And we have Andronikos Spyrou, senior project manager at BBF. Before we begin, it is my honor to welcome the Deputy Minister of Tourism of the Republic of Cyprus, Mr. Kostas Koumis, for an opening address.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends from the Cyprus Diaspora Forum, it is with great emotion and pleasure that I'm here with you today, the third Cyprus Diaspora Forum, a very distinctive event which brings together Cypriots from different corners of the world to connect, to collaborate, and of course to contribute their valuable knowledge and expertise in the national effort to shape a better future for the Republic of Cyprus. Please allow me to express my sincere appreciation to the organizers for organizing this very important event, but above all for their continued efforts in strengthening the connection between Cyprus and the global community of Cypriots. There are many strong emotions when I stand among members of the Cyprus diaspora. Above all, the prevailing feeling of sincere gratitude. Gratitude to each and every one of you who, despite living abroad, you have never ceased to support, promote, and stand by our beloved country. Definitely, the Cypriot diaspora constitutes an integral part of our national identity and a powerful pillar of extroversion for our country, as you carry with you not only the history and the values of Cyprus, but also a dynamic presence that contributes actively to economic development, investment, and international outreach. Your contribution to the tourist sector is particularly significant as through your professional networks, your personal engagement, and through your influential power, you are shaping perceptions for our country as a tourist destination. And personally, I perceived that through these simple daily activities, Cyprus as a tourist destination is strengthening its international position. In this sense, basically, you are acting as essential partners in the development of our country's tourist economy, but above all, you are acting as a kind of ambassadors to the sector, and I would like to express my sincere gratitude again. Ladies and gentlemen, tourism is without doubt the driving force of the country's economy, with a 13.7% contribution to our country GDP, and overall economic activity with over 60,000 jobs related to the sector. The year 2025 has been a historic year regarding the performance of the tourist sector. The total number of tourist arrivals exceeded for first time the 4.5 million visitors, while the revenues from tourists climbed to 3.7 billion euros. However, as you are all aware of, the geopolitical tension in the Middle East has affected the sector this year, as we have experienced a decline in both arrivals and bookings for the first half of the year. It is definitely a challenging period, but we remain optimistic that the tourist sector will prove once again its resilience, as it has happened again the years before. Ladies and gentlemen, the year 2026 is considered as an important year for the tourist sector in Europe, since during the year will be presented the first European Sustainable Tourist Strategy, an initiative of Commissioner Gigi Kostas. The first in the history of the Union, Sustainable Tourist Strategy, has been already consulted in Cyprus during the informal ministerial meeting held in Nicosia on April 17th. Its vision is clear: to develop Destination Europe, the most visited continent in the world, in a sustainable manner, by protecting the environment and delivering tangible benefits to the local economies and the local societies. Today, the European Union follows as a roadmap of actions the European Tourist Agenda 2030, a set of agreed principles between the member states, which the Republic of Cyprus is implementing through its national strategy. The European Tourist Agenda priorities: green transition, digital transition, resilience and inclusion, skills improvement, and the empowerment of governance framework are implemented by the Deputy Ministry of Tourism, mainly by the offering of incentive schemes, aiming to offer the opportunity to both the private and the public sector to upgrade the level of their services, investing in both green and digital transition. As Deputy Ministry of Tourism, the last 2 years we have announced incentive schemes in an effort to upgrade the level of tourist services in the mountainous and remote regions, with beneficiaries both enterprises and local community councils, and through other political measures, we have created the right conditions for the empowerment of the authenticity factor, an all-times classic value for the tourist industry. Equally important for us is the preservation and promotion of Cyprus' rich cultural heritage. Through the development of thematic and alternative forms of tourism, we support the protection and enhancement of both tangible and intangible cultural heritage, ensuring that our traditions and identity remain at the core of the tourist experience. Ladies and gentlemen, as Cyprus continues to reposition itself on the global tourist map, we are called upon to address a fundamental challenge: to successfully integrate innovation while preserving our country's authenticity. Technology and smart solutions are essential tools. However, they must serve to enhance, not to replace, what defines Cyprus: its culture, its traditions, and its authentic, of course, hospitality. In this effort, your role is precious. You are the bridge between Cyprus and the world. You are the voices that communicate our story, our identity, and our vision for a modern and sustainable destination. I would like to invite you to continue supporting Cyprus, to promote it, to invest in it, and to remain actively engaged with it. Together, we can shape a tourist model that is not only economically successful, but also socially responsible and environmentally sustainable. We have a significant amount of work ahead of us. I'm confident that together we are capable of achieving it. Please let this occasion serve not only as a moment of remembrance, but also as a commitment, ensuring that Cyprus is following the right pathway as a tourist destination with the support of the Cypriots of the world. Thank you so much. I will be here to discuss, of course, what we discuss in the panel. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, so we gathered people across many sectors to discuss this topic. I think we should dive right into it. I want to ask a question to all of you for now. And, the name of this panel has some keywords, some buzzwords: sustainability, authenticity, smart. So I would like to know, what does smart tourism actually mean for Cyprus beyond just a buzzword? Maybe we can start from Themis.
My name is Themis Violaris. I come from Los Angeles. And I am the owner and CEO of Grizzly Entertainment, one of the top companies in the US, performing drone light shows all over the US and Europe. Very recently also in Cyprus, with all the difficulties that we had to go through to get licensed in Cyprus. Having said that, I'm going to follow the minister's words. There is a lot of work to be done because of the situation now. I believe we need to double the efforts of helping the Cyprus name, and we can assist in any way, and especially from our capacity and technology that we own. We can make at least more attractive Cyprus in a different way. I totally understand that the ministry is already processing their budgets and their plans for the next few years, which maybe sometimes these plans are outdated. But we're here to support the ministry and get together. Like, for example, what we did this December is that we supported the Christmas villages. We performed drone light shows on 6 out of the 8 villages, those that we were capable to support and perform shows. And we also promoted Love Cyprus, the logo of our tourism. We also perform a show for Comic-Con. Comic-Con, our partners here, an event that has an amazing attraction numbers in different countries, especially the one in Cyprus is one of the biggest in Europe. I live in LA, so I'm talking from experience that I live next to the biggest one in the world. I'm not saying that we're gonna compete to that one, but at least we can entertain and attract people in a different ways with our technologies and experiences.
Thank you. Peter?
Yeah, to pick up on that, smart tourism, sustainability. I mean, drone shows is great tech. That's smart in itself. Comic-Con, well, I mean, Comic-Con can be smart too. We've been investing in a sort of having a STEM and robotics section. We're seeing a lot of, obviously, the blossoming of the game dev scene in Cyprus as well, and we're getting to experience the cultural lens of that and the creative lens of that at Comic-Con. And it's also just the other creative things that people can do, like Effie, who's I'm going to pass the mic to in just a very second, in terms of smart tourism. I guess if there was one thing on my wish list, it would be something like a sort of smart access card. It's been done in other cities around the world, like Copenhagen and the like. And it sort of should give access to sort of monuments and antiquities as well as modern experiences, and actually as a sort of a smart guide through the island when you arrive. So you're kind of navigated around the place, and it should probably be sort of quasi-payment oriented, something like, I don't know, the WeChat environment in the Far East, in that it can be used as a payment mechanism as well as an experience mechanism.
Hi guys, thank you. I'm Effie, I'm from Australia. Cyprus Says is our app. We made it, I made it because I'm in diaspora. I was born in Sydney. My dad was born here in Cyprus. My mum was born in Sydney as well, and my papunya are also from Cyprus. And it's so far away. It's on the other side of the world, and to come all this way for family, we come all this way. It's very unique for us. It's unique for us to be able to connect with something on our country on the other side of the world. So we created Cyprus Says because it's something that is needed for people to connect, but also for tourism and hospitality and all these things, which was another aspect of why we created the app. It's not just for diaspora families and generations, which is why we created it, to preserve Cypriot Greek. We teach the dialect. We've got a team of academic linguists that helped us build and preserve that language. I know people, or dialect, there's a big debate about if it's a dialect or it's a language, but either way it's being spoken, and it's very important for anyone, I think, travelling who wants to visit somewhere for tourism to have that connection and communication. So when you don't have that, you feel fear and you feel uncomfortable. And I felt that coming from Australia. I grew up hearing the language, and it's smart tech is happening. It's been in our lives for a very long time. And to be able to download something on your phone and not just be told you need to read books, that's how you can learn. Everyone, the next generation, everyone is on tech, and smart technology is in our everyday lives for everything that we do. So it's very important to keep our cultural identity, but also preserve it and keep it going so it doesn't get lost, and not let tech be the demise of something so important like our dialect and our language and our identity. So that's something that was really strong for me to be able to start this. And we really want it to spread the word. We've only launched 6 months ago, but we have had people who work in hospitality that they are so excited to hear that we exist, and all these things, from workers to people to come and visit. It's very important to have that smart tech not just be a buzzword, but for it to be part of promoting Cyprus and just making a part of our everyday lives with this tech that we all use every day. It's not unknown for us to have our mobiles. Everyone has their phones on them all the time, every day. So tech is a big part of it, and that's just because we have that history, we shouldn't lose it, and we should preserve it.
Thank you. Andronikos, representing the construction industry, the development industry.
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Andronikos Spyrou. I'm coming from the construction and development industry with a lot of experience both in Cyprus and abroad. Currently working one of the biggest developments, if not the biggest one, on the island. And as part of one of the big projects that I am involved, the Berengaria project in Prodromos, which I'm overlooking, we started looking into smart tourism. And we saw that for us, one of the most interesting idea is the same one as the one Peter said, which we looked into it, and we spent a lot of hours, to be honest, in preparing reports and things, how we could create routes, how we could create, how we could give information to people that they will come to the mountains, they will come to Prodromos, they will invest in the village there. We need to give them something to do. So we need to give them, to show them where they can find the bike route, where they can find the hike path. This is something that we are looking, and we believe that this is the smart travel, that we need to somehow give people that are visiting these places the opportunity through their telephone, their smartphone, to see they have a bike route in front of them. How big is this bike route? Is it half an hour? Where does it take them? What is their point of interest in that thing? And how difficult it is, because not everybody is same physically, and some people have some challenges, which is understandable. So yes, for us, smart is using the technology to show Cyprus.
And this is a great segue, because we all know, we've seen the day today, we have plenty of sun, we have plenty of sea, and we can take advantage of that for many, many months. But there are opportunities for tourism beyond the sun and the sea. And maybe we didn't tap into those opportunities enough there, or maybe there are, ways we can explore them. So with that, I'm gonna ask Peter, as the representative of a big event. So how is Cyprus Comic Con interacting with visitors? And are we underestimating, in your belief, the power of events or pop culture in Cyprus tourism?
Hugely. It's a massive, it's almost impossible to state what an opportunity it is. when you think that people come to Cyprus, and that's 5 to 7% of our visitor base now, we're an event that has a 32,000 ticketed attendance, up to 40,000 in total, operating our free outdoor festival as well. 5 to 7% of people coming from abroad to visit the event, and that's just one event. The other one that I like to shout out is the work that Helen Gatsambas does with Moonlight Endless Shows, Ed Sheeran. That also had a massive draw from abroad for tourism. There's a number of positive examples, but we run into struggles such as venue capacity. We run into, I know with Comic-Con, we're at the limit now. We have no room to grow. And it's been a struggle, it really has. But we're very much looking forward to and excited by some of the things we're hearing through the grapevine about venues and investment in venues and expansion of existing venues. And we're also really happy that everyone's listening. It wasn't always that way. It's been years of really struggling to get people
You
to
made
sort of...
them listen when you bring so many thousands of people.
Well, in big thanks to a consortium of events, we're actually a Sύνδεσμος registered with OEV now. There's a lot of voices of different event organizers. Some of them are consumer shows, some of them are trade shows. But really, it's just great to hear. It's great to see that people are listening. And we always end up finding allies in places that we would never have expected, which is so encouraging. It's really encouraging.
Because it's a chain of events, you create a festival, and with the right partnerships, you support hotels, you support restaurants, you support the local infrastructure. So same question to Themis, because you collaborate with many events. You don't host your own event, but you collaborate with many events. And you're bringing a very unique experience for people. So maybe we can tap into a little bit, what does those experiences play, if they play a key role?
Correct. I'm going to give you some examples that we do right now in the city of Los Angeles. The city of Los Angeles is taking all the eyes of the world right now. FIFA World Cup, Olympic Games in 2 years' time. So the city is transformed. And there is so much attraction from foreign entities and countries promoting their countries and product in the city of LA. Okay, the American tourism to Cyprus is not so easy. It's a little bit far. They have closer destinations to go to. But we can do the same things in Europe. I mean, Cyprus can be promoted in major events like UEFA Final, Champions League, different Eurovision.
Maybe with a drone show.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, we are storytellers. We tell you a story on the sky, and we have that capacity, we have that knowledge, and for sure, definitely the expertise. 5 years in the industry, one of the top companies in the world, and it's a Cypriot company. And we raise the Cyprus flag all over the world, and we're very proud about it. But there are so many things that we can do for Cyprus, outside of Cyprus, even though we can do it also locally. But locally, you want to get those numbers in Cyprus, so you have to do these new attractive ways of advertisement or promotion through these sports events, through those major festivals. You can create even a drone light show festival in Cyprus. You can bring companies from all over Europe, the easier way because there is no customs, there is no any problems of getting down here. You can create events that can attract new ideas of tourism. You know, we have to escape from the traditional, oh, I'm going to this exhibition, and get locked in a hall. I attended the Cyprus booth exhibition at the Expo Dubai. There was a person there that didn't speak Greek, and it was a dead booth. I was so disappointed when I went there to see that. We need to escape from these traditional promotions. We need to move on to what the new generation is looking for. We perform 120 shows per year as a company. That tells you that every 3 days we perform a show. is not something outdated. It's the new generation. We're taking over fireworks by far. And we are, as I said, we're storytellers. We can create an amazing story on the sky. People, they stop all over the world, all over wherever they are, to stop to watch the show. We can put a message of Cyprus to the sky.
Excellent. So, Effie, from a diaspora perspective, how do you think Cyprus can create more meaningful visitor experience that help people connect with the language because of your app, but also, the everyday life of the island as, part of the cultural experience, not just the destination itself?
Yeah, I think for us, when I hear Cypriot Greek, I feel warm and I feel like I'm at home. My uncles, my family, everyone speaks like that, and it's the personality that comes through in the way we speak. It's the way our language has its own way of telling stories as well. It's very, very unique. It's obviously got the beautiful modern Greek underneath, but it's just the personality of our people that we can be sharing all of that with our tourists and with our people who are here. Working, all those things. We've had actually so many people. Obviously, the diaspora will always come and visit. There's a connection, but it's more the next generations of my sister's kids and all of the other cousins and everyone as the older generation that were here first. We had that, listening to that growing up, but it's not as common to hear that language being spoken and that dialect being spoken at home, because we're in Australia where we do speak English, and it's the same in the UK. We had many people messaging us before we even launched, saying that their American husbands were ecstatic that they could learn and all these things. There's a connection whether you are diaspora yourself or you've married into that family and all those things. This language and the platform is to allow people to connect and have that connection to their identity or their identity of their family if they've married into the Cypriot with a Cypriot partner or have Cypriot family. So it's just very important, and I think it's very unique to hear it and put something around it so that it's not just, I had my uncles tell me, you have to move here, otherwise it's the only way you'll learn. You can't learn any other way but to move here and hear it just by listening. And that's not the way our technology works these days. Everybody wants to be able to talk to the other side of the world really quickly. We have internet, we have apps, we have people want to work from a laptop. There are entrepreneurs here that work on the other side of the world, and we could attract even more people to work here, not just for tourism, but to work here as well. So people want a laptop. The new next generation doesn't want to just sit in an office, and having the access to language will just really open that up for everybody, whether that is tourism or to work here as business owners or all those things.
Thank you. Andronikos, I have a two-scale question for you. The first one is from a development perspective. How do you embed sustainability in large-scale projects like Berengaria and Land of Tomorrow without compromising commercial viability? And the second one is specifically for Berengaria. You touched upon some of the nuances of that destination because it's in the mountains. Maybe we can explore more the creative ways you're planning to promote that experience. Yeah, of course you can call grizzly, but since it's not, it's not by the water, maybe there are some nuances you could share.
Well, with regards to sustainability, obviously, Berengaria is a listed building. It's considered to be the most significant listed building on the island, to be honest. It has to do with the size, with the design, with everything. So we need to be very careful with our work there. So we are doing a huge development there, but at the same time, we are restoring the original building to how exactly it was with respect to it. So it involved 3D survey of the whole building right before we started. So we know every detail of the building, where every original stone was. So we are trying to recreate it exactly as it was because there were no drawings, obviously, 100 years building. At the same time, we're building around it a new development, a new community. There is a massive spa, there are residential developments coming right next to it. Actually, I mean, in Prodromos, if you take a radius from Berengaria 500 meters, there are like 80 residential units coming up now, which is a lot. So it means that we want to bring people to the mountain. We want to invest to the area, and we want to bring them there. So with regards to sustainability now, because you asked me, obviously we need to be very careful with the environment. Our plot is bordering with a Natura environment, Natura 2000. So there are very big restrictions with regards to the trees and everything. So we had to very carefully map all the trees, and we're talking about thousands of trees, if not more. Each one is shown on the drawing, and out of these 1,000 trees, we came to, through discussions with the authorities, we're going to cut 27 trees. So we're building within a forest, in the essence. We are not going to create any obstruction or any form of footpaths or anything in the forest. We're keeping it as it is. So even the hotel will not have any boundaries. The houses will not have any boundaries between themselves. So you will be walking into houses and you will see your next door neighbor. There will be no gardens created. There will be no barbecues. There is nothing. You just buy a house in the forest. So for us, this is sustainability. This is keeping the environment as it is as much as possible. Through a lot of research, we monitored all the birds in the vicinity. That's another thing. So when the project is completed, we're going to have a big number of artificial nests for the birds. This is part of the requirements, again, from the authorities. So again, it's sustainability. We don't want the birds and the other life to leave the area. We want it. We want it to be part of our development. So it is there. We are having within the development, there are 2 waste treatment plants. We are going to create a lot of treated water. We don't need the water. We don't have gardens. We are in the forest, again. So this water is going to go to the community free of charge. So we are helping the community. We are assisting them. We want to help them to stay there and continue with their produce and their life. The second thing was?
I think you've answered the question beautifully, both for the sustainability. Well, the second question was for the nuances in Berengaria area, but I think, between the nature, the landscape, the spa you mentioned, I think there are many reasons somebody to visit the mountains in Cyprus. Themi, you want to add something?
I think they have an amazing opportunity to use the name. Being the first, Berengaria was Queen of England, the first queen and the only queen that was crowned outside of England. And also they can bring the name of King Richard Lionheart.
So again, using history,
the history
to attract
of the island. I mean, don't forget that the king he took over the island by Komnenos back then in the 1100s. So there's so much history about that name. They can take advantage of that so easily. And I mean, the biggest part of our tourism comes from the UK. So they will be very thrilled and excited to. They feel that it's their own anyway, still, which is the truth. Anyway, so, because of them, we suffer right now of the basis and the tourism right now. We got such an, huge impact to our tourism. Anyway, but Berengaria is an amazing name. They can utilize that history easily, and they can attract big numbers of people.
Do you want to answer to that?
Just from my side, briefly, we're looking forward to organizing a Renaissance festival there when it's ready. There's lots and lots of reenactment communities around the world that are already coming to Cyprus. Seems like a great place.
It is a great place, obviously, yes. So we could look into it. I mean, we're going ahead with the permits and everything. They're coming in place now. So we are hoping before the end of the year to have all the building permits with us. I mean, we received all the planning permits, so now we're in the process of applying for building permits. So if we are starting by end of the year, we are hoping that by 2029 we'll be opening the hotel. This is our target.
We'll be ready, right?
Cyprus is becoming or be named a tech hub. We can all see how Limassol was 10 years ago, where Limassol is now. We're attracting headquarters of international companies. So my question after that prompt is, can Cyprus innovate without losing its authenticity? Or is there always a trade-off? And I think we have clear examples here of how you can innovate, but playing within the culture. I would like to know if Comic-Con has a local character. Obviously, the things Grizzly Entertainment does to support Cyprus, and the work of BBF. Maybe we can. No, go ahead. We'll go.
I mean, at Cyprus Comic-Con, it's kind of innate. I mean, I'll just take cosplay as one fine example. I mean, people are using traditional handicraft methods to create cosplays. They're building armor. They're creating using, like, let's say, lace making techniques. There's a couple of vendors that are actually bringing sort of Lefkara style lace into the fantasy realm at the event. You've got artists and Artist Alley. We host sort of 100 to 200 tables worth of creative people at the con. You've got artists and Artist Alley who are sort of retelling Cypriot folklore through the medium of comics and manga. They're creating characters that are heavily inspired by Cypriot history and sort of the authentic nature behind it. It's such a wildly various history as well. I mean, you can do so many crazy things with it at the end of the day through the lens of modernity. I mean, there's another fine example where there's the music stage where you've got a rock band, Rust X, the Xanthu family. It's brothers and sisters, and a lot of their songs are about sort of traditional folklore stories. Galiganzari, for example, they made a metal song about that. So yeah, it's absolutely possible to maintain that sort of identity.
Maybe we just need to amplify that message.
Absolutely, yeah.
Maybe that's our responsibility as media to really showcase that.
Absolutely, and it's basically the main mission, the core mission of Comic-Con. And I'm looking at my fellow organizers in the audience all nodding, is to give that platform and give that sort of audience to people, let them find their people, let them really show what they're doing creatively.
I think we should not be afraid of technology. Anyway, technology is part of our lives nowadays. Everything we do is with one phone in our hands. But in general, I mean, we need to start thinking out of the box and allow ourselves to enter to new themes and new ideas of attracting people. I mean, that's why we got out of that mentality, and when we started the project with my colleagues back in 2019, of course, we all enjoyed the experience of COVID-19, and because of COVID-19, we created the company as well, and we made it operating in such a way that we don't need to be present in an office. So we're happy right now where we are. I know we can do more. I'm very excited that we started the business also in Cyprus, and I know that Cyprus can take advantage of this great opportunity of introducing this new technology to people's lives.
Effie has her own mic.
Yeah, I think with it being a trade-off, I think that's the opposite of how we see it when we've been talking about Cyprus Says and how we can preserve our culture. We have plans to put Cypriot proverbs into the app, and we've had people reach out to us and message us that they want to contribute to the app, and my Bapu in Paphos says something different, and my Yaya says that this and that. So for us, tech isn't at all a trade-off for it. It's just going to be able for us to strengthen it and make us make our identity and our culture just be known and shared around the world. So for us, that's definitely not the trade-off that tech is going to diminish our culture. It's just there to strengthen it. So for us, we've got so many ideas. We've only just launched 6 months ago. The idea started 6 years ago. It's taken a long time to collect the right team and bring the right people together so that we had like the academic team that we have around us. They're professors and linguists at the Cyprus University is here. They've been studying it for years, writing papers for years about the dialect, and the amount of wealth of knowledge that they've had, we presented to the European Commission as well with our linguist Spiros Armordis and all of our other team members, Kostandina and Natalia, who helped us build out the content. It's all mapped against the CEFR, Common European Framework Reference for Languages. It's just making it stronger. It's not a trade-off that tech or any of it is going to diminish our culture. It's just going to make it stronger and make it a great, just to preserve it and make sure that it's known and shared and not lost throughout the generations when so many diaspora are in other countries. We just need to make sure that it's even more precious for us. So we want to make sure that we use that tech to just give it its strength and keep it going for years to come.
Thank you. Andronikos, as developers, do you think digitally from day one, or is it an afterthought in your projects?
For us as a company, we think digitally from day one. I mean, from the first day we start a project, we have our own standards and specifications based on whether it's a residential or a commercial project. Standard specification, whether it's a high-end residential or a lower end, so that the design team, both internally and externally, they know in every detail what systems they should be designing and what systems they should be having into our end product. Of course, having said that, this thing is live. So you finish a project, or after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you revisit your standards and your specs, and maybe you add something or you remove something. You have to see what the market needs, what your clients are asking for, if there is any need. So this is something, yes, we have. And we are using it also smart in our projects like Berengaria, for example. We are having this development there. We have a hotel, and around it we're building all these residential units. Some of it are part directly of Berengaria, some of it are within the village. I mean, 500 meters radius, you're in the village center. So we are integrating these modern technologies now so that people who are in the houses or in the flats, in the residential units, they can be connected to the systems of the hotel. So they can have access to the housekeeping service, they have access to room service, they can have access to the spa. So you don't have to actually go to the hotel. You are staying in a residential unit around it, but at the same time you are part of the hotel.
Great. We're approaching the end of our discussion. So briefly, a couple of questions to all of you. The first one is one bold move that Cyprus should make in the next couple of years, obviously regarding tourism. And the other one is in one word or one phrase, what should Cyprus tourism stand for by 2030?
"2030 is too close. It's almost done. I think they know what they're doing by 2030. So, well, because of the geopolitical problems we face, because where we're located, We need to, I mentioned this many, many times, we need to get out from the stereotype and the traditional way of attracting tourism. We need to show the difference. We need to excel in technology, and we need to show them what we are able to do, and take advantage of that message. We need to come out with a new message. We're not here only for the sun. I know the Northern Europeans are excited about it, but I think that candy, it's all long gone from attracting people. So I think together with the Ministry of Tourism, there are some nice and smart minds around that they can help the people there, and they can create something on the side in order to help situations like we're facing right now.
I think from our perspective, it's probably a heavier focus on experience. And experience means community, it means repetition through community. It means finding your people here and wanting to come back organically. And that's kind of what we bring with the Comic-Con, is we've got groups of people that keep growing bigger and bigger and bigger every year because they keep coming back and back. And they keep on saying wonderful things about Cyprus. They're not just saying wonderful things about the Comic-Con, they're saying wonderful things about the people they meet at the Comic-Con, the local people they meet, the places they go afterwards. And so much more of a focus on that side of things and that aspect of things would be great. I mean, it's sort of one thing to come for, like we were saying earlier, the beach, the sea, the lovely weather. But layered on top of that, adding sort of the fabric of things like fandoms and deep community and working together and creating, working on projects together, the factor of exchange as well, people being able to invite people to their countries to help spread that message even further. It's kind of what we embody, and we would want to see a more organized method of that sort of being utilized by other folks in a stronger way. I think one way is definitely through tech and platform. There's limitations to social networks. There's great big gaps about sort of discoverability, especially for newer creators or newer communities or groups of people. So much that's just hidden under rocks. And so if we had sort of a very Cyprus-centric or Europe-centric framework for this kind of thing, it's kind of what we've been working on under the covers, is a consortium of European Comic-Cons with the same ideals. We're partnered with Portugal, Germany, Malta, Greece, even a festival in the UK, Bulgaria, and that group is just growing. And that means a lot, these communities are only going to get tighter knit, and the distances are going to be shortened between our nations. So for me, that's it. And the one word, differentiation. It has to be.
I 100% agree with Peter. I've actually worked in advertising for over 15 years, and for me, the most biggest bold move that could be done is to just do a tourism campaign for Cyprus and break all those stereotypes of what people think we are, not just sun, salt and sea, but if it is these communities, it's events. People in generations are now, spending money on experiences. They're not spending money to buy cars and houses as much as they used to back in the old days. So I think putting a really big push behind a tourism campaign, whether that's big or small, whether it's TV commercials, whether it's marketing on Instagram, whether it's doing, collabs with influencers to tap into all of these different communities. It's just showing everybody what is here, what's available, and what is the differentiating factor of Cyprus, and not to be the same as everybody else. Like we heard at another panel, we're not trying to be London, we're not trying to be Australia, we're not trying to be America, we're not going to be Coachella, but we can do a great job of pushing out what we do have here and just sort of break, especially for diaspora, there's a lot of stigma of it's just a jorko, there's a village and there's just a house and then that's all there is, and the beach. So if there's heaps of other things happening, which there is, and we have all of the guys here today to prove that, we should just be pushing that out, getting the word out there and have people speaking about it and being a bit more open about what we do have on offer here. And okay. One word is, what was the question for the one word? One
word or phrase. What should Cyprus tourism stand for by 2030 or 2050 if you need more time.
No. I think authenticity. I think the authenticity of who we are is exactly what. And authenticity is just gonna keep us who we are and not lose who we are and our culture and what we are here.
From our perspective, what is a bold move that should happen now is find a way to fast-track permits. I mean, we have big developments, and I know we're talking about tourism, but tourism is also big development. I mean, Berengaria is a mixed tourist development. Land of Tomorrow is again going for tourists. There are other big developments on the island which are mixed tourist developments. We need to find a way that we will fast-track the permits. We need to find a way that people will not lose their interest in a development, in a project, because it takes so many years to get it approved. This is one of the biggest problems we have on the island. Now, with regards to the tourism, I believe we should change our branding, our approach. We should, like all the other people said, we need to try and escape from Cyprus's sea and sun. No, we should try and sell our weather, our climate. We're in the Mediterranean. We are a small place. Within 2 hours, you can be everywhere. You can be from Prodaras to Paphos, or you can be from any major city. You can be in Prodromos in 1 hour. So you can enjoy everything. And there are so many things to enjoy. This is what we should be selling, to be honest. Now, with regards to one word, for 2030, this is substance. Again, like what everybody else said. We need to sell something that has substance, something that is meaningful. We are a hospitable place. We have a lot of culture. We need to sell these things and we need to promote them correctly.
Thank you. Just a remark, because I think it's very important what you mentioned, that you can go from anywhere you want in Cyprus, from the mountain to the sea. We don't have time to discuss it, but I want to express this. It's how. Because in Cyprus, we can only do those things by car. And I think it's very important for tourism to have alternative ways of mobility, to enjoy those experiences without renting a car. I will leave you with this. We have here with us the Deputy Minister of Tourism. You've heard ideas from many sectors. If you want to have some closing remarks, now is the time. And there is a seat for you.
Hi again, hi to everyone. To be very honest, I really enjoyed the discussion. And I don't know which should be the starting point of my statement. I will start, I think, from what Andronikos said about the permits. First of all, let me tell you that I'm also a person coming from the private sector. And I was in your position a few years ago. And I was fighting with the state in order to perceive the public sector officials to allow what was offering in other countries. It was not offering in our country. And basically, we're talking about the condominiums, which we have right now. The legislation has changed. And because of that, we have, let's say, the second wave of booming in the real estate industry. As about the procedures, Christodoulidis' government has already applied a new method, fast-track policy. I think it's doing very well. It is not something which personally I follow, and I didn't try to put any request for permission, but I think it's going well. If there is any room for improvement, with pleasure, have a look again. Smart tourism. We didn't give a definition to the discussion, but we all know what it's all about. At the beginning of my term of service in March 2023, the first question which I did to one of the first questions which I placed to my associates in the ministry is why we don't have an application present in Cyprus. And I received an answer, as far as I remember, that we're a small island, people, they can move everywhere, we don't need it. I replied to them by answering that we have all visited small cities all over Europe, in other continents as well, and some of those cities, they have even their own applications. I'm not a fan of having in Cyprus many different applications, but definitely we need to have the national application. So what we did, we follow the normal procedure of the public sector. We proceed to tenders, and finally it was one university who won the tender, which right now is executing. It is on the development stage of this application, and is expected that at the beginning of 2027, actually January 2027, Cyprus will have its own application, which is going to be based on what I have seen, a very rich one, I would say that way, offering too many information to the users, and it will be able to work even offline. So that's going to be very helpful for the visitors. So we are investing, let's say, in this direction. We're investing in digital transition, and we're investing also in green transition. I will tell you something. We need to know something about the tourist industry. In the tourist industry, nothing can be achieved without the successful involvement of the private sector. Nothing. It is very easy for a ministry, it is very easy for a minister to set a particular target. It is very easy, for example, for two ministers to agree about a very particular target. For example, sometimes you hear us that we are signing MOUs with ministers from other countries about the target to create joint programs, joint visitors programs. Nothing can be achieved if the industries of the two countries do not cooperate. So what we did in our case, in order to lead, in order to guide the sector towards the green and digital transition, first of all, number one, we all know that both green and digital transition cost. There is a cost for the private sector to move toward this direction in both cases. And please remember also that the backbone of the tourist industry is what? Hundreds, thousands, let's say millions, we're talking on a worldwide basis, of small, medium enterprises. These enterprises that do not have the capacity sometimes, the majority they do not have it, to move towards this direction. So what we did, we have announced the last 2-3 years, I have already mentioned that during my speech, incentive schemes towards these directions, simply things. For example, as about the restaurant industry, we have announced an incentive scheme which was applicable to all restaurants of the country, not one of particular area, in order to give them the opportunity through incentives to invest in digital tools. We gave them the opportunity to invest in green transition by purchase, for example, composters. We have led them toward that way, and I think that was needed, especially the year we did it, 2023, because we're talking about the period immediately after COVID. We did the same as about the hotel industry, but we didn't do it horizontally. We did it only for one particular area. Which area? the mountainous region, the remote regions. I'm talking, for example, for Pyrgos area, Illyria, and Troodos Mountains. Why we did it only for them? Because they have a disadvantage. They are not so popular as the other areas of the countries, as the coastline, for example. And we offer them the opportunity by national, we offer them incentives by national financial instruments to invest in renovation in order to give them the opportunity to renovate their hotel premises. What was our target, basically, as ministry's government, to upgrade the level of services in these areas. And we still follow, and we're trying to see whether they need it again. And now we are preparing to announce another incentive scheme, again, only for those restaurants located in this area, in order to give them the opportunity to get upgraded again, because they need it. They don't have the turnovers which they have in other areas. And there is one thing also extra towards this direction. What you were talking about authenticity, and I was talking about the old times value of authenticity factor. Authenticity is not everywhere. And we need to remember that. It is very important to remember that. For example, we're now in Limassol. What is Limassol today? It's a brand new, modern city. That's it. So you can't find authenticity in every single corner of Limassol. Basically, probably there's nowhere. But there is authenticity factor, a very rich authenticity factor, only 1 hour drive, only probably 40 minutes drive from here. So we need to invest in this authenticity factor, which again came back as a trend. So please remember that we are investing a lot toward this direction. That's why we are announcing incentive schemes from time to time, and we do it by purpose. What is the purpose? Tourists is moving around one element which is called attractiveness. Cyprus has a very, let's say, nice coastline which attracts visitors. The level of attractiveness, the pull factor, the so-called pull factor of the mountainous area is not the same. That's why we're investing on them, because they need it. And at the same time, we're investing in one area and the authenticity factor. And I think I talk already a lot. I have taken several notes. I will only make some comments about the infrastructures. In the tourist sector, the infrastructures are divided into 3 categories: the public infrastructures, the private, and the level of know-how. What we have in Cyprus? I would say that we have a good level of public infrastructures, especially comparison with other countries, especially comparison, let's say, with our competitors. We have a good road network. We have invested the last years in some additional infrastructures in relation to that. We have a good level of private infrastructures, hotel premises, for example. I would say that the level of know-how is also very high, but we need to continue investing toward this direction. Skilling, upskilling, reskilling should be emphasized in every single enterprise. But we have never invested in the so-called para-tourist infrastructures, or let's say supporting infrastructures. I heard before Themis Gularis talking about the possibility of hosting in Cyprus, for example. Themis, you talk about UEFA or Champions League, something like that. We don't have the stadium for that. We have already searched for that. We don't have the stadium with the necessary capacity to host one of these, let's say, cup finals. But we have other stadiums. What kind of stadiums? We have the cleanest waters of Europe. I'm talking about sea waters. That's why, for example, 2 weeks ago, we have announced as Deputy Minister of Tourism, you can visit our website, you can have a look at that we are incentivizing the organization of sports events in Cyprus. Why? We'd like to see an open event taking place in the Sea of Cyprus. We'd like to see some more marathons, not some more. We would like to see the marathons of Cyprus becoming more popular again. And we really enjoy watching those marathons and those events, having every year more and more visitors from different countries. We're investing a lot in sports tourism, and it is, for my very personal opinion, it could be considered, it could be included in one of the comparative advantages of our country because it is strictly connected with the weather. But I agree with you, we need to invest also in other opportunities. Tourism is something which never ends. The framework for the tourist sector never ends. So why not to get some new ideas? Basically, I came here today mostly to get some new ideas.
Free brainstorming.
Because I'm sure that the diaspora has many ideas to offer us. With pleasure to see what we can do for the years to come. And by the way, we have just announced our new strategy. We're talking about the year 2035. And basically, we are talking about how we can diversify the product and how we can change, how we can push the visitors visiting other areas as well, not only the coastline of our country. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Minister. We've run out of time. There is another panel after this. So again, thank you, Minister, for the opening and closing remarks. Thank you, Andronike, Effie, Peter, Themis, and maybe we'll talk again next year.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Cyprus Diaspora Uncovered. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts for more inspiring conversations that are shaping Cyprus's global future. You can also explore more episodes on our website and selected video interviews on our YouTube channels.